Well, hello, Wichita, and welcome to another edition of Council Chat. I am Councilmember Bryan Frye, representing District 5, and with me today is Councilmember Johnson from District 1. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Got my favorite shirt on.
Yeah, I love the All-America logo on it, obviously. I didn't do that on mine. Maybe I could get that added.
Yeah, you should.
It's
we got to
definitely
brag.
worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So these are always fun, and it's been a while since we've done one, so let's have some fun. Next week, we have a little bit less of an agenda than what we had last week.
Yeah.
I think we had like 13 or 14 items last week.
It was a long agenda last week.
It was thick. This week, we have a little condensed, but still very important business to address. A very nice project with Wesley continuing to expand and improve their facilities. They're asking for some IRBs to help with that expansion. And again, that is not taxpayer dollars. That allows them to borrow money at a better rate. And then also the Kansas Health Science Center, now that it's open, and part of that development agreement was the use of IRBs to fund that expansion. So two very important projects that are critical for our continued development as a community. One of our sweet spots is healthcare.
Yeah, and they continue to make our city better. I mean, thinking about the last investment Wesley made with the Children's Pediatric Ward and the service that they're providing not only to the city but to this region in that space, and how nice it is. And now they're doing even more. And coming through, the pandemic, all of this investment in healthcare, I think, is a wonderful thing and continues to make our city just that much better and attractive.
And it does make it a regional draw, too. We get people from all across the state to come to visit not only Wesley but also Via Christi, and then also train at KU Med School, and now Kansas Health Science Center.
Yeah.
So definitely continue to see those expansions and developments. Just great for our city.
Yeah, and uniquely with you and I being in Leadership Kansas and seeing how this can impact the whole state, and how rural areas need help, and these types of investments are actually even helping rural Kansas as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the shortage of doctors and physicians in western Kansas is critical. And if we can continue to provide those professionals out there, it's going to help the entire state.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, every year we also look at park lighting and safety improvements, and we'll bring that up Tuesday as well. And, as you know, it's especially important, not even just from this year, but the last several years of the vandalism that we've seen in different parks, Ailey Park, Edgemoor Rec Center, McAfee Pool. I think there was something out in District 5 at one point. We just continue to see this happen. So having more security there, video. I know law enforcement will be there working with park staff, trying to get the right angles. It protects our investment.
Yeah, and the cost of those enhancements have really come down. That allows us to have affordable options.
Yep.
So we don't actually have to have people there, but we can have cameras and better lighting so that it makes it less attractive to do something. I still don't understand why people vandalize stuff. It's just insane. And it's so disappointing when we do these improvements, like you mentioned at McAfee and Ailey Park pools, both. Those are world class now, and then to see somebody destroy them, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It really hurts, and so hopefully these things can put a stop to some of that, and make it easier for our law enforcement, where they can address real issues too. So I know we mentioned a lot of medical stuff earlier, but this is also the time of year where we look at our premiums for our employees. Healthcare costs, and also dental. And fortunately, through our staff working through all the budget and trying to negotiate with our providers, I think we're seeing a very small increase in health and zero increase in dental premium. So that's really nice.
Yeah,
it makes it
great.
Attractive for employee recruitment and retention.
Yeah, and I think last year there was no increase in either plan.
Correct,
so just having a slight increase is good.
Yeah.
I mean, that 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and we're blessed to have good provider coverage.
Yep.
As someone who was, this morning, my son was getting his deviated septum surgery, and it's like our out-of-pocket expense was very small.
Yeah.
And it was a real blessing, and so for our employees to have that same kind of benefit, it really makes it attractive. If you want to work at the city, because we have great jobs, we have great benefits. So
apply today.
Exactly. Small little cleanup also. We have some areas of the town where we get heavy truck traffic on what are more or less residential streets. and that's just noise, safety, pollution. And so we've got a couple of areas of town where we're going to clean that up and not allow truck traffic to go through. And I think that's important because, you still have to have school buses, yes, and trash trucks, but we're talking about semis and heavy-duty trucks. They don't belong on what are residential streets.
Yep, and
So,
I've received complaints about that too, so I'm glad to see us taking action on that.
Yep.
Finally, we'll also be looking at an ordinance repealing a section of city code pertaining to marijuana possession and possession of drug paraphernalia. There are multiple options that we as a council have to discuss and ultimately make a decision on. And I'm looking forward to that discussion on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, and again, I know we had a workshop on this. It hasn't been to our advisory board yet. I still think that needs to happen. This is a major policy decision that we shouldn't be rushing into anything, even though we have had a workshop and some discussion at the bench. I still think it's an important thing to go back out to our advisory boards. So have this first reading, get it on record, and that way we can start to have that larger community discussion.
Yeah, and hopefully everybody listening to this, let us know what you think on it, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, what your concerns are, what your aspirations are. I think all of that is good feedback for us.
Absolutely. So, that's our agenda.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not as thick, right? We mentioned that earlier. That allows us maybe some weekend plans.
Yep.
You got anything fun scheduled?
Yeah, so tomorrow, District 1 breakfast, 9:30 over at Atwater. We're going to have, we've had this rash of incidents with our young people, guns at schools, fights, all of that. And just so happened that we've got some youth groups like Heroes Academy,
Yes.
Rise Up for Youth, CHD Boxing, and ICT Launchpad will be at the breakfast tomorrow to talk about what they do, how they engage young people, and how you can get your young person signed up. We're also going to have District 1 Board of Education member Diane Albert there. So
good.
hopefully we'll have a great conversation about our young people and what to do to help out. And then later is the fundraiser for Storytime Village, so the charity basketball game.
That is tomorrow night.
And for whatever reason, I'm playing, so hopefully I don't pull anything in the game. I did say I would dunk on Shaq if given the chance, so hopefully we can try it. Just bring my trampoline out and see if I can get up there.
I know you can make free throws because in our Leadership Kansas class, we had the opportunity to do a little free throw competition at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yep.
And your team won.
We won.
And so you've had bragging rights on that, so good on you. And look, Shaq can't shoot free throws. We know that.
So maybe I should challenge him to that.
There you go. Absolutely, challenge him.
What about you?
So tomorrow morning I have Sedgwick County Association of Cities, and I go to that every month. It's at Keachai City Hall, and that's in the morning. And then fundraiser for Sedgwick County Zoo, Zubilee, tomorrow night. I'm part of Wichita Wagon Masters, and we're cooking hamburgers and hot dogs and chili as a way to promote the chili cook-off coming up on October 1st.
So will you all be using charcoal or propane?
Oh, we'll use lump charcoal. We use the real stuff. Yep, lump charcoal. But we'll prepare about 3,000 hamburgers and hot dogs tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. We start cooking at 3 o'clock and we don't finish. We're the last group still serving food at Zubilee.
I remember that.
Yeah, so a lot of fun. And then also I mentioned earlier taking care of my son. He had this surgery, and so we're going to make sure he's resting comfortably. So he's a strong kid, 16 years old. He didn't faze him at all. So
Good.
And he's going to be a lot better. But thank you. With that, we're going to close out this episode of Council Chat. Thank you for joining us and always for watching. Be sure to subscribe and follow on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And share this with your neighbors and your friends. Let other people know that we do this. We'd like to have more people listening and learning what we're doing and working for you. Have a great weekend.